Hey guys, Sethley here back with another Apex Legends video. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Now in today's video, we're going to be going over some pretty big stuff we did get. We're going to go over all of the new Apex Legends locations on the Season 7 map Olympus. So earlier today, Apex Legends did tweet out an announcement about the details of the map and all of the different locations we're going to have. But I did want to mention before that, they did also tweet out yesterday, prepare to rise to new heights by pre-loading Apex Legends now on Steam, so you're ready when Season 7 launches at 8 p.m. PT on November 4th, aka tomorrow. So you can currently download Steam in advance for the release of Apex on Steam with Season 7 at exactly 8 p.m. PT on the 4th. Now typically big updates do come out at 10 a.m. PT and not 8 p.m. PT, so this is going to be really weird. So Season 7, guys, I just want to clarify 100% will be coming out at 8 p.m. PST on the 4th. So it's going to be near midnight, I'm pretty sure, for you guys who have central time zones. So that is a bit disappointing for that exact release time, but you got to deal with what we get. So if you guys didn't also see my video from yesterday, you should definitely go ahead and check it out. I cover in depth all of the patch notes and all of the changes we will be getting in Season 7. It actually ended up being an 18-minute video, but I did add all the timestamps for the topics in the description of that video. So if you guys haven't seen that, I'll link it down below in the description of this video and in the top right hand corner as well, so you can check that out after you watch this one. But let's get right into the new locations. So they tweeted out this morning saying, tomorrow we travel to Olympus. Get to know the city in the clouds before you ascend in Season 7. And they had a really good picture that went along with that, as well as a new official post on the EA website about all of the different spots on the map, basically just covering the map in its entirety. So I'll link that down below if you guys want to go ahead and check it out for yourselves. However, I will be covering all of that in this video. But before I cover all of those different locations, I'll show on screen right now the mini-map for Olympus so you guys can have a sort of an idea of what the entirety of it looks like, and then we can go in depth into each exact point of interest. So before we go ahead and get right into that, I do want to mention one last thing. I will link the dev stream that did come out a couple days ago in the description as well, because I'll show some clips of the points of interest as I go over them. So they started out by saying, "Hi, I'm David Osai, senior level designer on Apex Legends. Join me as we tour the newest map coming to Season 7, Olympus." And they have a beautiful picture. I'll show that on screen right now for you guys. And it says, "Olympus is the third map coming to Apex Legends and is a floating city high above the planet Samathe. This new location boasts lush, artificial terrain with stylized landscapes for those that appreciate opulent decor. Gone are the tall, cliffside rocks from Kings Canyon and World's Edge. Instead, you'll find perilous open space that showcases the clouds below. Olympus comes with two new ways to traverse the map, the Phase Runner and the Trident, Apex Legends' first vehicle." So let's get into how you're going to be traversing Olympus. They start out with the Trident, and I'll show some gameplay as well as some pictures on screen right now for you guys. But the Trident is a squad-based 3-seater hover vehicle you can find on the outskirts of Olympus. These are made for large rotations throughout the map, especially in the early game. And the Trident comes equipped with a boost feature that for a short time can increase speed and help you get over obstacles. Try timing your boost with the jump ramps throughout the map for some serious air time. So I'm excited to see what those tricks you can do on the Trident are actually going to look like with the boost and the ramp. But they continued on to go more in depth about the Trident. So they say these hover vehicles are designed for rotations and not combat, so you will not be able to run over and hurt players. If you choose to use this in combat, there are multiple options for other players to counter this. Arc Stars or Watson's fences, for instance, can stall the vehicle for a moment, giving their team time to push. Since we're a character-based game, we also wanted the Trident to feel like an extension of the player. For example, you can place certain tacticals onto the Trident itself, front or back. Want to place 2 caustic barrels on the Trident? Go ahead. Mix and match specific tacticals depending on your playstyle. My favorite tactic is placing Rampart's Sheila minigun on the back. It's amazing. Trust me, they say. So that is really exciting to see all the different meta you're going to be able to have with the Trident being able to use each legend differently and their abilities in combination with the new hover vehicle. Lastly, they said it's also worth mentioning that if you accidentally drive the Trident off the map, don't worry, we have a safety net in place that will launch all players into the sky so you can safely land back onto Olympus. The Trident does not respawn, so please be careful. So that is actually a really interesting feature. If you do fall off while riding the Trident, it will launch you back into the air, which I think is really cool. Now that's it for the Trident, but it certainly isn't all for the ways you can traverse the map. I'll show on screen right now, we have the Phase Runner. It's an industrial-sized phase portal connecting 3 distinct areas of Olympus. This always-on static portal will phase players to and from specific locations. If the ring is pushing you towards Hydroponics and you're stuck with no Trident in sight, hop into the Phase Runner to phase you to the other side of the map. However, be cautious when using these, as you have no clue what's going to wait for you on the other side. Players who are near these will see and hear a warning before other players come out, so be sure to always prepare for combat when using the Phase Runner. So it looks like although it's going to be a good way to travel across the map, it is going to be probably a prime spot for campers and people who are looking for those choke points, but you're just going to have to deal with that because obviously there are always going to be people like that no matter what map you are playing on. But now onto the exact points of interest on Olympus. So starting out with Velvet Oasis, I'll show it on screen. Twin luxurious apartments that offer mid to long range engagements across its sleek landscape. Velvet Oasis is unique due to the choice to fight above ground or below, where the luxurious Oasis Cafe can be found. Since most of the loot is focused inside, expect fights to break out between the buildings. One below the aquatic themed cafe can be found with higher tier loot. However, be careful as there are plenty of pitfalls and the only way to topside is via zip lines. So you're gonna have to be careful about all of that high ground. That's gonna be a very interesting tactic of that part of the map. But now onto the next one, which is Arcadia Supercarrier. It's a massive vessel last seen leaving the planet Talos. I'll show it on screen right now, and it assisted Olympus with transportation of arms, vehicles, scientific equipment, and personnel. Players who enjoy close quarters combat will excel in breaching and defending this large point of interest. Defensive legends like Rampart, Watson, and Caustic will shine here, as this can also act as a choke for players leaving to and from docks. So you gotta be on the lookout for those teams. But now onto docks itself. So they say docks is an open industrial pier where ships can refuel and cargo is transferred to and from Olympus. The mountain facade helps hide the dirty work that goes on here from those who wish to not see it. I'll show what it looks like on screen. It does look a bit polluted, but long-range combat dominates this area, so expect to see snipers perched on the many elevations looking for enemies rotating from Arcadia Supercarrier and or Power Grid. With such a large zone, vehicles prove invaluable in rotating through this area, so you gotta watch out because this map is a lot bigger than what it looks to be, as well as what people expected it to be. But now onto the primary power grid. So I'll show it on screen right now. To power such a large attraction that takes a big effort, power grid is split into 2 halves for this exact reason, the primary and secondary. So the primary is the focus where most of the loot resides, while secondary, a smaller area, serves as a safer place to land away from the chaos, and these 2 spaces are dense, full of alleyways, chokes, and multi-tiered buildings. The bridges between the 2 provide breathing room if you wish to engage from a longer distance. Otherwise, bring a shotgun or 2. But now onto the Rift Aftermath. It looks really intense. I'll show it on screen right now. A massive explosion took place where the Phase Runner entrance used to be, splitting the zone apart. The resulting unstable rift floats within the zone's center. What remains in Rift Aftermath are 3 distinct loot-dense areas separated by open space and debris. You can enter the rift within the center at any time to phase back through the Phase Runner and arrive near Hammond Labs. This is the largest POI in Olympus, so be certain there are no squads nearby before making a run towards the lift. The Trident once again proves to be very useful rotating through this open area. Now onto the central turbine. I'll show it on screen right now, and within the mountain facade lies this imposing circular location that houses spinning fans above and below. While loot is plentiful, this point of interest can be accessed from many directions at once, making this a tough nexus to defend. Keep your eyes open and your ears sharp, as players will need to move through here to access most areas on Olympus, so that's definitely going to be a hot spot. But now onto a very pretty and luxurious spot on the map called Autumn Estates. I'll show it on screen, and far from the greasy industrial clutter lies this idyllic property where those needing rest and relaxation can escape to. Residential housing for the wealthy are evenly distributed on golden brown plots of land. As one of the smallest points of interest, this dense neighborhood boasts a mix of all kinds of intense combat. Those looking for QCQ will be on the ground, weaving in and out of each residential building. But watch out for those holding the stacked buildings in the middle. Expect to find King of the Hill style gameplay, as many of you want to hold the high center ground and establish control of the chaos below. Find a weapon fast or be on your way out to the farmstead or Hammond Labs, which is our next point. I'll show it on screen right now. It's a stylistic, pristine building that sits in the center of a large open landscape. Waterfalls crest the peak of the Overwatch where the research basin resides. Enter cautiously to find out what Hammond was researching within. Nowhere is truly safe as high overlooks focus inward toward the main central lab. This is a sniper's paradise. When inside, close quarters combat and plenty of loot await. Just be sure you're ready when leaving, as there is very little keeping you safe from onlookers outside. With multiple ways for teams to rotate into here, this can end up being a huge hotspot for multi-team fights. Try holding the high ground, defend the interior of the central lab, or rotate through the other zones. It won't be easy. Next, we have Energy Depot, slick, clean, with function over form. This industrial housing stores and charges hundreds of batteries that are then used to power many of the assets seen throughout Olympus. Maintenance tunnels run underneath this top layer, giving access to frightening views of the clouds below. Watch your step, as there are plenty of pitfalls surrounding this open structure. Awareness is key. Make sure you plan your route through here carefully or suffer the consequences. Fastened next to this depot is the underpass below the partially destroyed phase runner. These long narrow choke points will lead you to the opulent golden gardens. I'll show it on screen right now, and this will allow you to retreat and experience privacy amongst multiple living spaces with this rich, luxurious environment. Golden Gardens offers layered gameplay with buildings stacked on top of one another for unique tactical combat. Many of these buildings have no doors but open entrances, so combat moves fast. Expect mid to long range skirmishes between each compound, with close quarters dominating the interconnected tunnels. Now onto the exact towers, the Grow Towers, so slowly rotating sniper perches of doom times 3. These ornate structures overlook a large agricultural landscape below. I gotta say, while I like this map a lot and it honestly looks amazing just to look at, it is beautiful, I gotta say Grow Towers is probably one of my favorite places just to look at. But in this area, while moving up high gives you an advantage, the rotation of these structures pose a new challenge. You'll want to stand back far enough to avoid spinning or risk missing your shots. Down below lies a small underbelly with multiple utility buildings if you're scared of heights. However, expect close quarters combat here as opposed to long range up above. These imposing structures overlook a few choke points, so expect to be seen from afar when within their sight. Next, we have a pretty interesting name, the Orbital Cannon Test Site. So tucked far away from most of Olympus, surrounded by a large unbreachable wall, lies this slick military testing site. A large orbital cannon serves as the focal point for the zone, surrounded by an open air facility. So this area has dense loot, but there is plenty of space for multiple squads to own sections of the facility and others to hold the exterior to smaller labs. Fights break out throughout the facility's tight corridors, so you gotta watch your back. And this will probably end up being one of the main hot drops of the map. But now onto the solar array. I'll show it on screen right now. Olympus requires a lot of power, and this sector serves as one of the many to keep this gravity-defying city afloat. This dense solar-powered sector acts as both a checkpoint and a point of interest. The next next point of interest is the Bonsai Plaza. The crown jewel of Olympus, this spacious downtown is home to restaurants, cherry blossom gardens, and the well-known Reverie Lounge. I'll show it on screen right now, and this area definitely looks like some sort of city plaza or Union Square type deal, so I am excited to see that. But they say with stark verticality throughout, you'll want to drop and try to hold the Reverie Lounge, which looks over most of Bonsai Plaza. But there is only one Trident on your way out, so be sure to plan accordingly when leaving or be met by the circle quickly. Now, our second to last point of interest is hydroponics. Within these sprawling agricultural grounds, rounded top buildings and iconic silos are arranged throughout. The curved farmlands and algae green pools add to its uniqueness. With a large number of high-tier buildings and a wide open approach to design, multiple squads can be supported here. Now lastly, we do have Elysium. This is the last point of interest that is listed on this post. However, it is a small area. It's intimate and very close quarters. It's a small POI focused on skirmishes. This floating research vessel can only accommodate a few squads, so expect action very quickly. But the unique thing is that Elysium floats off the edge of Olympus, so only 2 ziplines can take you and your squad on top. Some legends can be invaluable if you want more ways on board to command the vessel for yourself. So this Elysium is going to be the UFO that everybody has been talking about for a while, that was shown off in the dev stream a while back as a teaser. But lastly, they did have one thing to say. They say Olympus houses many challenges and playstyles for a very different experience than you're used to. The Phase Runner and Trident are exciting new tools to traverse each zone. From the seedy underbelly of Energy Depot to the glistening Bonsai Plaza, Olympus will give you new experiences, new environments, and new ways to test your skills. The city awaits. See you soon. So guys, that is all for the map Olympus. The new map we're getting in Season 7 tomorrow, aka November 4th at 8 p.m. PST. So make sure to be on the lookout for that, guys. Lastly, I did want to show one overall look of the map with the names of each point of interest on top, so you guys could get a final look at how everything pieces together. But make sure to comment down below what you guys think about this new map. Is it going to be your favorite map out of all 3? I think it will be mine, but we'll have to wait and see. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. It really does help me out a ton. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. But it's been your boy Sethley, and I'm out.